Well, good evening and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer League, week number 2. I'm Adirondack Rick, and joining me is Sabatender. We got a doozy of a match, don't we?
We sure do. GFE versus jmeasher. This is going to be a good one. Yes, this is one of my teammates, but I'm going to try and remain a neutral party in this one here. I'm looking for a good race today. Regardless of the outcome, it's going to be a good one, I think, Rick.
Well, I really don't know what to say about GFE's current setup right now, but what we can tell you is that we are dealing with the matchup here between the Tile Roomies and the Spear Affinity. Now, a certain somebody who is with me knows a lot about Spear Affinity, considering the fact that they're one of the 3 members of this team. They're 0-2 and 0, and last week you had quite a battle with Team Kappa.
Team Kappa, real deal when it comes to co-op, when it comes to almost any rando mode. But co-op, those guys are super proficient. Yes. We're in a bit of a hole, but that's okay. You know, a lot of respect to Fear Gamma and 1UP. Those guys really put on a great showing last week. So yeah, we're looking for some points maybe to make up.
That is one of their bread and butter modes, and I got to see that last year because Fear, Gamma, and 1UP were in my division, so we had them in week number 7, and they just pretty much wiped the floor. We thought we were good with co-op. They showed us, you haven't learned all the tricks just yet. So that's the story with Spear Affinity. Now, how about the team that you and your opponents, or whether your teammates, are facing this week with the Tile Roomies?
Tile Roomies kind of came together towards the deadline, I guess, of the last season, and surprised a lot of people. You know, these are good runners on this team: jmeasher, Artie Walsh, and Hazakitty, the kind of the surprise star of the 3 there. Everyone really delivered, and I think they're going to see some success this season as well.
And Hazakitty is one of the underrated runners here of Tile Roomies, but really excels when you start getting into some of the more oddball modes of the league. As we're underway and we find 100 rupees in Link's house, a map in the Sanctuary. What are we looking at for the overworld?
That was a blue pendant Hera, a red pendant Desert, and a 5/6 crystal at Eastern Palace.
Yeah, we get another look at the map here from GFE. So, jmeasher on Tile Roomies, you can see that they have 3 points. They have a 1-1 record here in season number 2, or rather season number 3, I guess I should say, of the league.
Alrighty, so we got some divergence early on here. We've got some Uncle Route going on with on jmeasher's side. I'm a fan of this. It's one of my usual go-to plays. Maybe not so much in open mode, but hey, you know, we got a blue tunic out of it there, and Fire Rod hanging out in the Lumberjack. Gee, if he's got that info.
So we will more than likely have, and actually we will guaranteed have an Aga Require seed.
Okay. Cool.
We can already make that a call right now because of the fact that we have 2 of our 3 pendants in the light world, which means either Skull or Turtle Rock, one of them is guaranteed to be a crystal.
Good point. So just 20 rupees hanging out at the mushroom spot there and heading down to the Thieves' Hideout. What do we got? It's a piece of heart. Bunch of junk.
Yeah, right now jmeasher trying to get the bush crab to find out that it is blue rupees, get himself enough money to make a purchase in the village. Both of these runners hoping to find some bombs that they don't have to purchase, but that's not to be the case right now. So JFE, he's going to be heading on over towards the Haunted Grove area to try to take his chance with the 50-50.
And as our runners are just getting underway here, just a shout out to our wonderful tracker today, Mindful Beast, clicking those buttons behind the scenes. Really appreciate that. Showing some love in the chat, folks.
Absolutely. They're the ones who are very, very important for letting us see what we need to do as far as dungeons and crystals are concerned, and clicking those buttons, although we would really like to see him click a few more buttons other than that blue mail that's on the Tile Roomies side.
Yeah, haven't really come across a whole heck of a lot yet.
Just some pieces of heart, some arrows here and there. I see we are going with Gino for our sprite over here for GFE, and for jmeasher, we're going with Toad.
All right, so both of our runners converging on Kakariko at about the same time here. One from the south, one from the north. We're going to get a bunch of checks here.
Yeah, we're going to first see what we have in the back of the tavern, and we get ourselves a 20 rupee. That's going to help make bombs a more improved of a decision here. We got ourselves a glove inside the blind, and the blind's hideout, as well as the blue boomerang. Get a few rupees as well, but unfortunately for jmeasher, he's going in without a bomb, so he may have to come back later. I do like what GFE ended up doing here.
Using that cash to actually purchase some bombs, yeah. I would say it's a good call.
Not only that, but the fact that he used the bomb to go inside the chicken coop so he doesn't waste away a bomb. That way now he can go ahead and get this here with a full stack of 10, have some left over from the mini Moldorms coming up in a little bit as well. We see jmeasher now heading on over to purchase some bombs himself as we get ourselves the first sword inside of the well.
Still not a whole heck of a lot. Yeah,
well,
boots are good.
How about that? I don't know. I mean, getting the glove, getting the boots, there's a few good things here that we've seen so far. Let's go ahead and see what we get from Sick Kid for the trade-in for the bottle. Oh ho ho!
All right, well that gives us, some kind of direction perhaps. We don't have the lamp yet, but Eastern Palace could be calling for our runners if they want to do some dark rooms.
Yeah, and that is the only crystal dungeon here of the Light World. Now, there was one matter that we didn't see from jmeasher a little bit ago, and that is what we're going to see from GFE coming up in just a few moments with that bomb wall. Remember, jmeasher went in without a bomb. And it's just 20 rupees. And that is the end of the line for GFE. He's going to go ahead and do a save and quit. jmeasher picks up the bow. The thing is, at least we got the boost, but it does still kind of make you feel a little icky when you have to keep going up and down the village like this.
Yeah, it feels like the routing was not optimal through Kakariko, and that was just a result of bomb situations and the various kind of back and forth they had to go through with the Sick Kid and whatnot.
So checking Bonk Rock's now going to head to the back 3 of Escape, see what we have behind the gloves here. And the big thing with open mode is trying to optimize your checks. Like that's a big thing for all of these modes, but obviously open mode is one of those ones. Both of these runners want to try to be able to set themselves up to do Palace of Darkness and Eastern together if they need to. GFE going through the dark rooms, trying to get himself to the key rat.
Shouldn't be too much trouble when you're walking around with a sword, but yeah, I'd be interested to see what is going to be at Dark Cross here.
Yeah, especially since we found the key, so the worst case scenario would be that this is the map.
Would be no bueno if it was.
I know you're hoping that he gets something good out of this.
Hey, you know what? It'd be a nice little early kind of advantage, I suppose, if jmeasher chooses to skip on it.
I like this strategy here. Oh, the Moon Pearl.
Okay, cool, cool. Some big brain plays from GFE here.
I'm being corrected in chat, by the way. I'm being corrected in chat. I had forgotten that we had already seen the map out of the sanctuary. So this was guaranteed to be an item.
Yeah, it was guaranteed to be an item, but chat, don't bully Rick.
It's all right. They can bully me all they want. I'm bound to miss things like this. At least this is 2 screens, not 4.
Yeah.
And we see jmeasher going here to try to get this Moon Pearl as well. I liked what GFE ended up doing here by lining himself up with that right-hand southern wall and then dashing into the torch, because that puts you right next to where the chest is. So all you have to do is walk up and get it.
Wow. And are we on red mail already, technically? GFE hasn't been up to Uncle's spot to pick up that mail, but we've already found both mail upgrades.
And you can see pretty much where the difference here is. GFE knowing that, as opposed to, well, also the other thing here is jmeasher's having a little bit of an issue because of the rope that's hovering near him as well. This is a place where you do not want to die for all this time investment. You want to get this chest. But you do see that jmeasher is having a lot of difficulties getting himself lined up with this chest. It is a very good trick to know is that you can line yourself up with the southern part of that wall, and there he does finally get the Moon Pearl, but that came at a cost of what, about 30 seconds for him to get. We do get the lamp, so down that puts the Moon Pearl in logic in the mini Moldorm cave.
Absolutely, the pieces are starting to come together a little better here.
So jmeasher's heading over towards Eastern.
Yeah, I don't disagree with this at all. I mean, you're okay with the kind of easier dark rooms in Eastern Palace. You assume that you're going to be getting the lamp at some point, so might as well tackle a dungeon while you're looking for it.
Yeah, it's just if we see any more difficulty, there's the hammer. So now when GFE gets that, that is going to be, actually, for both of these runners, that's Dark World access, and it looks like jmeasher is just going to go ahead and say no to Eastern at this point in time. I have other things to do. GFE here on a sequence break by water dashing his way up to the waterfall, gets himself a heart container as well as some bombs. So nothing good there, but can we get something on the Zora ledge? Well, he can't obtain it right now, and he doesn't really want it. It's just rupee. Alright, so we see, unfortunately, a few bomb misses. Oh, he got lucky with that one, just running right into it at the very end, but just unfortunate bomb tosses there for jmeasher. That is a difficult thing if you want to try to do some bomb tosses. And there's the lamp for jmeasher, putting that Moon Pearl into logic.
Yeah, so he's opted to skip on Eastern Palace now and go right for Dark World. I think he's going to be probably starting off at Hype Cave, I imagine, next. You know, interesting choice to skip on Eastern. I mean, you could have finished the dungeon while you're there. I mean, you're banking on maybe getting the mirror and then routing in, like you say, Pod Eastern at the same time. So it does kind of make sense, but yeah.
GFE heading on over towards the Uncle area. Gonna get his red mail now. And speaking of red mail, we're gonna see that from jmeasher as well. Now, jmeasher's made the interesting decision to put off going over towards the Ashrod Cave based on this current route. Maybe, based on the way he's looking like, maybe he's going to go and do Agena next. No, he's not. He's going to go right straight for the Dark World.
Yeah, it
Time to
definitely
head
seemed
on
like
over.
he was definitely angling to get into the Dark World sooner rather than later. GFE's
Yeah.
being a little more careful, I guess, checking off some more Light World locations.
Our green pennant turns out to be Ice Palace, and the other 5-6 turns out to be Swamp Palace. And now we go ahead and see what we have inside of Pipe Cave as GFE picks up some rupees to help out with the maybe a Zora purchase, although he's been up there now orphaned off that Zora square. And rupees. Oh, the mirror!
Wow, that's a big get.
That's huge because now jmeasher can lump together the Palace of Darkness and Eastern together.
All according to plan here. Good work.
And there's the magic cape for GFE. Could he be thinking an Agaplay knowing that the Fire Rod is there?
I mean, he's already at Hyrule Castle. Like, why the heck not? Just go for it, dude.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is he doesn't have that mirror at this point in time, but if once he gets over to Sahashala, he will have that hammer. Yep, and here he goes, setting himself up for a Death Warp, so this is going to be a restart at the castle. Although, doing a Death Warp when you have red mail is a little harder. And he gets rewarded with perhaps a required item in the book. We don't know if it's required or not, but that's a good find down deep in Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, it could be a spot that jmeasher skips on for a while, unless he maybe like mirrors at the pyramid or something.
All right, so GFE is heading on over towards Aghanim. And we do immediately need that bow for Palace of Darkness as we got the big key out of the shooter room. Four arrows to these ball and chain guards, and they're dropping some bombs today. jmeasher getting some really rotten luck out of these gels.
Yeah, just checking out right side here. Looks like it's probably going to be a couple of small keys for him.
Mm-hmm. So as we mentioned before, this is weak, and that's going to be the second non-small key here for the first section of Palace of Darkness. So jmeasher should know that everything else that's going to be not behind that key door that takes you to the back is all going to be small keys at this point. So as we mentioned before, that this is the league. This is week number 2. This is open mode. 7-7 defeat Ganon. Each team will send 2 to the plate. Who's going in game number 2?
Who's going to be in game number 2? I don't know. Might be me.
And who might you be facing?
Oh, I'm going up against the one and only How's Kitty.
Oh, nice. That's going to be a real fun match.
Yeah, most definitely. We have a pretty long history in Randomizer. We were in the same group way back in the, what was it? Fall secondary tournament of what, 2017,
nice.
I want to say? Like ages ago, man.
All right, how many blue balls are both of these runners going to get? Because both of these runners have to do this Aghanim.
Let's say 3.
That seems to be the consensus of chat as well. I'm going to say 3 as well. And for those of you wondering, this is a 100% required Aghanim because of the fact that we have a Fire Rod at the Lumberjack, and with, the Titans are in the Palace of Darkness.
jmeasher with the plays.
But with the fire rod at the lumberjack, that means that this is a guaranteed required aghanim, with both Skull and Turtle Rocks being crystal dungeons. Well, I'm seeing way too many blue balls out of this here, Sabatender. Yeah, I think our 3's dead.
Alrighty, jmeasher heading towards the back of the dungeon, making his way towards Halmasaur.
And here we are having to sit through, what is this, the 3rd round of lightning, 4th round of lightning now?
Ay, ay, ay.
And both of these runners are going to get the same RNG here. So what you're seeing from GFE, jmeasher's going to have to put up with when he finally makes the call to head to Aghanim. Let's see what we have on the pyramid. The pyramid has just a piece of heart. That feels almost vanilla. Fortunately, jmeasher got a little, what seemed to be a little unlucky with the balance of the beetle, or the turtle, but hey, it all worked out. That was a pretty solid room for jmeasher, as GFE looks like he's going to be going to the Palace of Darkness, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to finish this, but he will be able to pick up that Titan's Mitt.
Yeah, a little unfortunate that he does not have either the hammer or the mirror to make this any easier. So it's going to be a bit of a, tough little crawl through here, and you won't be able to walk out with a crystal in hand. So that's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, you're setting yourself up for unfortunate having to double back into here at some point in time. As jmeasher finishes off the Halmasaur King. And getting 50 rupees for the prize, but more importantly, the Titan's Mitt seems to be the biggest prize of all inside of this dungeon.
Okay, so we gotta imagine that GFE is just gonna, jmeasher's just gonna use the mirror there and finish off Eastern Palace as well and be done with this part of the world quick and easy.
Yeah, and this is where optimal routing is going to come into play. Now, this will give jmeasher a little bit of an advantage, but this is not a done race by far. We've got a whole lot of items before we're in go mode, so this does not spell the end for your team, Spearfinity.
Nope, still early days yet.
So jmeasher here inside of Eastern Palace, 3 items inside. It is indeed a crystal, and it's also one of our 5/6 crystals. Getting a 20 rupee, and it's one of the first items inside of this dungeon. I bet once GFE gets done with this, he might think about heading on over to, well, he's got to take a death warp here because he doesn't have the hammer nor the mirror.
Yep. Yeah, GFE, once he's through with Pod here, I would imagine that with the Titan's Mitts in hand, does the Skullwoods Village Outcast side of things? Yeah.
Yeah. And then he'll loop over to get to Hype Cave, finally get the mirror, and probably say a few words that are not appropriate for SpeedGaming. jmeasher heading towards the vanilla big key chest here of Eastern Palace, having found 2 items, 20 rupees and a heart container. And of course you had to, because that's where the big key turned out to be this time around. So not much I was paying attention.
Alrighty, third item on the Armos Knights.
Another bow blocked item. In fact, that will make another 2 bow blocked items on top of it. So we see GFE setting himself up for a bomb jump. He's got himself in the position already. Gets the Titan's Mitt. Probably says a few unflattering words at that point and just moves on. And that is going to do it because of the fact that GFE does not have the hammer. He cannot finish this dungeon. And he does exactly what we figured he would. Go ahead and do a save and quit. Start at the Sanctuary. Time to head on over towards... That's the wrong direction, but we're going to go ahead and check King's Tomb. I thought we were going to go ahead and claim that Fire Rod now and then go into Skull Woods.
That is very likely where he'll end up next. Trying to go for the quick kill there. jmeasher on the Armos Knights got away from him just a little bit there, so a bit of a slower fight.
Oh, he still was able to get that last one before it turned red, so therefore he could kill it with the one single arrow before it replenished its health. That's good still. So jmeasher picking up his second crystal. And here goes GFE running for the tree, about ready to bonk into that. And jmeasher's going to go ahead and check King's Tomb as well. And for jmeasher, he might be holding off doing the agate play until he finds that second sword. Well, we know he's not going to find the cape.
That's right, yeah. So, I mean, the way that just the items worked out there for GFE, going into the castle and then finding the cape, which gives him the access to do the agate fight, it just kind of like continually set him up for this kind of unfortunate chain that he's ended up on.
As we mentioned before, this is definitely not a done deal at this stage. Especially if there's an interesting item behind that fire rod.
Yeah, something in the back of Skull Woods would be pretty nice for GFE right now.
Because that is the main advantage that he has over jmeasher at this stage. So we're going to get a couple of different checks over here. First over in the chest game, it's a heart container, and GFE trying to stay away from the hands, but trying to stun the Gibdos. Gets the statue somewhat in place, but the other Gibdo decides he wants to say hi. As jmeasher now inside of Thieves Town gets a compass in the first chest, and that's going to be unfortunate for JFE.
Little pot of cash money there, so it's Zora cash, but no one's going up there, so not really too useful.
So jmeasher now heading over here. This is the third. We know a big key's going to be in one of these two, and there's the bombs, and looks like GFE trying to set up his next play, taking a few hits on his way down to check this underneath the bridge first. And it turns out just to be a compass. Now, thankfully for GFE, it was not to be a heart container or a fury in a bottle.
That would have been something.
Now, there's also good news in the fact that we did not find the small key in the first four. Because that means that the small key can only be in one other place at this point. Well, technically two, but one of them is good news for GFE. The other one is bad news.
Yeah.
Do you like having Fighter Sword? Ooh, that's the map. That's really bad news.
Fighter Sword Moth?
Fighter Sword Moth, yeah.
It's pretty gross, but he's got enough hearts, it should be fine. And, I mean, we're on red mail, so...
What's the strategy you would like to employ for this?
I mean, as much Fire Rod as I've got, and then, you know, I guess I go for spins. But, yeah, it's not a fun fight.
This is a patience tester. As GFE gets him into the corner, tries to get him out of the corner. There we go, and that's a beautiful kill of Mothula. And the small key is in the chest. And we've already seen the compass in the map.
Ooh, yeah, if something is in this big chest here, then this could be more trouble for GFE. Okay, could be trouble. We don't know yet. Might be.
Because we know that's where GFE is going next. And what did Mothula drop?
I don't think it was anything important.
Mothula dropped the map. That's really unfortunate. Blind fight here for jmeasher. 9 hits no matter what sword you have. The question is, can you keep him on script? I can't.
I've been getting hit by that second to last hit with blind here. I don't know what's wrong with my positioning there, but I keep getting just like a beam or something gets me right there, but doesn't usually affect it too much. jmeasher, perfect job there.
And now the big key here, and one final item left to go in Skull Woods, either in the pinball room or in the big chest. Don't get grabbed. Okay, now you can get grabbed. Boing, 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 boing. Let's head on down to the brewery. What do you say?
I'm already there, man.
Hey, you can get 20 rupees for it. All right, hype, or rather bumper cave. Oh, we need that. We do not question that one. We want that.
Yeah, most definitely.
So cape, at least one time required, maybe doubly required.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Now the question is, what do we need? There's a save and quit, as we are going to see GFE activate that flute. Question is, what medallion is required to get into Misery Mire?
The thing that's really going to start to weigh on GFE quite a lot, obviously, Hammer and Mirror. Both of those items would be super clutch to have right now with that flute to get some, Death Mountain access. But right now, he's just not got a whole lot. So he's likely going to head over to Mire with this.
Now, the one thing is that flute will negate some of the advantage of that book.
Yes.
We say goodbye to the deck. And we're going to head on over to 6. Or we're gonna flute to 5.
What?
Whoa! Now this is gonna be an Eastern into Sahasrahla play.
All right.
I think GFE may be getting this race back into his favor.
Yeah.
Bombo's on the breadsmiths, by the way. How do you feel about that move?
I am really surprised we went for the flute to 5, but you know, it's good. It's good. It's good. But again, I'm neutral. I'm neutral in this. I'm cheering for both runners.
I love the way that you double said that. You're getting giddy inside though.
Nope.
I don't believe you. It's kind of hard to stay impartial towards a race when one of them is your teammate.
Oh, for sure. But you just want to see like a good race, you know? Like
oh yeah, that too.
That's what we're all here for. Is just some like exciting rando action.
So what is this? What we're seeing from jmeasher?
Oh, we're seeing the purple chest kind of spawn glitch, where you can leave the chest behind in another part of the dark world, dash over, and when you mirror next to the guy hanging out there, it assumes that you have the chest with you, and you still get the prize, which was some powder.
All right, Nagina check. We haven't seen this yet. It just bombed. I love using the mirror to get out of the sanctuary faster.
Yeah, it's nice.
Big key pickup there for GFE. He's going to be heading over to the Arbos Knights. And jmeasher is heading up to the mountain. He's got plenty of things to do up there. Maybe he might find a hookshot to be able to full clear this mountain. Well, except for what's on the ether. And that's a bonk. Don't worry, I've made that bonk about 653 times.
Most definitely.
Have you ever tried to dash with the old man?
It's pretty funny, yeah. It feels like you go slower. Do you go slower?
Yeah. Have you ever tried dashing with the old man and then feeling sheepish because you decided to try to dash with the old man?
Oh, yes.
It's like he makes you go a little slower just to make you feel more sheepish.
Yep, definitely.
All right, so what next here for jmeasher? It's going to be a question mark. Does he go into the Tower of Hera?
He might take a peek. It being a pendant, it might not have as much value.
And don't forget, these runners, they have to do Aghanim, so they will get that cape at some point in time. Unless jmeasher wants to be bold about it and go in with a second sword.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Sahasrahla check here for GFE. He's going to get that hammer. But not before he bonks first. Well, both of these runners are bonking. Oh, more bonks.
jmeasher going up. This is interesting.
He is. Probably figures that it's a short enough of a dungeon that it's not going to cost him a whole lot of time if he decides to do so. As GFE picks up the hammer. And now we'll flute. Are we fluting to 2? Or rather, yeah, 3 is what I was thinking of, but no, we're not. We're fluting to 5 so we can finish off the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, he probably figures that he's been missing this for quite a while, and, you know, I just got to get another crystal on the board here.
Absolutely. Oh no! jmeasher takes the bottom hole and is going to go down 2 floors, trying to do the bomb jump to get to the big chest.
You know, and that's enough to just send you right out of the dungeon.
Yep, you're done. You've already found an item. Goodbye. Alright, now GFE got almost everything out of this dungeon, just gonna have to head on over. There's the ether, so that's all 3 of our medallions.
It is.
All GFE has to do now is just get on over to the Helmisar King and finish off this dungeon. That will give him 3 crystals. We'll be tied at 3 crystals apiece. Get ourselves our second bottle, or rather the 3rd bottle we've seen overall in this seed. And jmeasher getting more bombs out of Paradox. There's the flippers. We needed to find them at some point. Some arrows and more arrows.
You probably don't want to make use of those flippers quite yet. We've got access to Swamp Palace now, although we are hookshot-less, so we're locked out of the backside. And Ice Palace is another pendant, so do you really want to get into that mess yet?
I don't even want to get into that mess when it's a crystal dungeon.
Heck no.
Especially when you don't have the Cane of Samaria.
Okay.
So we do need the Quake out of the Thieves Town big chest, and that was going to be a concern a little bit ago, but GFE stayed out of Thieves Town without the hammer.
Yeah, that was a smart play on his part to skip out on that, whether he knows it's a smart play yet or not. He's going to need that item in there, so holding out for the hammer is working out well for him here.
Decent hammer kill for GFE. Had a little bit of an issue with it, but only took a little damage from it and was able to finish off the dungeon, pick up his 3rd crystal, and there's the Master Sword for jmeasher. So now the question goes, do you search Hyrule Castle when you go to Aghanim? It depends on where you feel in this race. If you're feeling like you're behind, you might consider skipping it. And GFE's just not going to go ahead and play that game of heading over to Catfish or at this point in time, and we just bonk our way into a piece of heart. And jmeasher, is he doing it? No, he's going for that ether. That's why he was bonking back. GFE checking out. GFE, rather. I keep saying J. I don't know why. But flutes to 6. Sees what's on the desert ledge. Now going back in. Time to see what we need for Misery Mire. It's a Quake story today. And without the mirror, no reason to check desert, no reason to check checkerboard, because you can't even get there.
Yep.
Now we are going to flute 2, 3, and I believe this is where we're going to do the Thieves Town play.
Yeah, likely going to see Thieves, Village of Outcasts, Smith Chain down to Height Cave. He's going to try and link all of these things up in one go.
Yeah,
Maybe
the unfortunate thing...
Maybe not Smith.
The unfortunate thing here is that he is not going to have the mirror to check cave 45. We know it doesn't have anything important in there, but it's going to be something that's going to linger in his mind when he does the breadsmith chain, if he does it later on.
And jmeasher with that second sword, he's got that access to Aga Tower now. So this is going to be a big moment here if he decides to go for front of escape first. He kind of needs to.
If he turns left, he's in big trouble. If he turns right, he's fine. He's fine. So, jmeasher about to get a critical piece of this puzzle. That is the cape. That leads to the flute. GFE is about to get an integral part of this, or a critical part of this puzzle. That is the quake in the Thieves' Town Big Chest. So while these runners are going and checking things that we've seen before, let's take a look at this Skullwoods division, shall we? Two teams made it out of this division at 2-0 last week, the Fandrana Drifters, and Team Kappa, that was the team you ended up having to face last week with the co-op mode.
Yeah, those are two really solid teams. It's every team in pretty much every division is tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's highly competitive, and those two up at 2-0 right now, definitely some big time competition. Going to be tough to knock them off the top step right now.
And then you have 4 teams sitting at 1-1: COW Tile Roomies, the Waffle House Drive-Thru, the Yu-Tang Clan, and Spearfinity, and the Immortals are at 0-2 so far. But, you know, this is a young league.
Yeah, plenty of time to make up that ground. At least that's what we're hoping.
After this week is done, you get the Waffle House Drive-Thru.
That's true, yes. I feel like I'm off next week. I feel like it's just going to be GFE and P-Train holding down the fort there.
Yeah, over on my team with the Bomb Squad, it's going to be Fred and Sinak going for us next week. I'm in action, as well as Fred is in action tomorrow night.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Well, we hope so. I get Farami, and Fred gets Keong.
Oh, yeah, that's a good team you're going up against there.
Oh, yeah. But then again, it's there are a lot of really good teams. Like last week, we had Pug Trio. That's a tough one.
Definitely.
But you know, that's what the magic here of the league this season. It is an ultra competitive league this season, and shout outs to the crew that's helping to put that all together. And we have a little time to go ahead and talk about this stuff because we're seeing these runners do the same checks that the other has at this point. I mean, we could go into specifics about how many blue balls that jmeasher is going to have, but he's going to have the same amount that GFE did about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's been an interesting first half of this seed in that we had two completely different paths here. But it looks like, you know, the checks are more or less coming together here, and we're waiting on kind of the next, the next shoe to drop, really, to see where the seed's going to lead our runners next.
Now, one troubling thing here. We are still missing 3 items, 3 critical items for Go Mode.
Mm-hmm.
The hook shot, the Cane of Samaria, and the ice rod.
Yeah. I mean, you might see jmeasher go for Misery Mire because he hasn't, if he gets the flute, that is, which he might see soon. I wonder if GFE goes for Pendant Ice. I mean, it's green pendant, so it's an extra item. It's 3 items in the dungeon. That'd be a play I'd consider.
Crystal number 4 for GFE and Spearfinity to take a 4-3 crystal lead in this run. But the problem is, that's all you can defeat at this point. You can go into Swamp Palace, but you sure can't leave. Well, not GFE. He doesn't have the flippers just yet. Needs to go up to the mountain for those. All right, GFE going in, getting his, or not claiming his 20, but seeing the 20 rupees. And digging time now for GFE and some more blue balls coming jmeasher's way.
Yeah, so GFE has just about reached the end of his little route here. He's going to be doing Hype Cave absolutely last here of this little chain, and that'll be kind of like, that'll be when he makes another move that we might not have seen yet. So, although he hasn't been up the mountain yet, maybe he'll do that.
Yeah, because what's keeping him from the mountain is the fact that he does not have the mirror just yet.
That's too juicy to pass up. He's definitely going to do that next.
I think the way that he's going to route this is once he gets that mirror, maybe check the Bombos tablet. Now, he can't obviously claim what's on the Bombos tablet because he's only got the fighter sword, but at least he can see what's on it. But I don't know. We'll see in just a few moments here what GFE decides to do.
jmeasher's on a pretty more straightforward path here. He's looking for Fire Rod and then likely a Skull Woods clear. And I'm seeing some thoughts about North Dark World checks, which makes a lot of sense.
He's got to check North Dark World at this point, and the reason why he's got to is because he's already done everything else in the Dark World. So this is going to be a North Dark World, probably into Catfish for jmeasher after he's done. So here's the Fire Rod pickup for jmeasher. And GFE is not going to check the Bombos tablet. Instead, is just going to flute to 3 and return the Breadsmith back. Well, eventually.
But yeah, he's definitely wanting to finish off this Smith chain in one go here.
Oh, right. Yeah, so he's going to set himself up with the purple chest. Yep. Although one thing can be said for GFE, he might not be feeling quite that well with the late mirror.
That's probably weighing on him a little bit. Like, I could have had this quite a while ago.
And one of the things is that you like to route yourself efficiently, and not having the mirror means you've got a few places that are going to be weighing in the back of your mind.
New check from jmeasher here. We have not seen Magic Bat yet. What is it going to show for us today?
And he's just bombs the magic powder to access the Magic Bat. Turned out to be in the purple chest, which we're going to see GFE grab in just a moment here. So if you're just tuning in here at the 51-minute mark, this is open mode, defeat Ganon 7-7. Standard open mode, pretty much. One runner is playing the seed, and they are getting absolutely no help this time around. No co-op, no spoiler things that we're going to be seeing here in the league. Which of the 7 modes are you looking forward to the most?
I don't know. I like a lot of the different modes, but I'm also really trash at all of them. So I don't know. I haven't actually played like a regular open mode seed in quite a while. So
and here you have
like, this week, like I'm kind of hyped for it.
And here you have to play Hazukitty in this.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I do.
I think I'm looking forward to most of all the All Dungeons Key Sanity.
I love me some AD keys, but I just keep getting smoked in it. Yeah, that's a fun mode. I really like it, for sure. Mystery is also a lot of fun. If you go in with the mindset that it's going to be kind of goofy or it has the potential to be very goofy, it's fun.
Speaking of goofy, you know which one is going to be the most goofy?
What's that?
The co-op Randomizer in Week 7.
Yikes.
3 bombs turns out to be at the bombos. And All Dungeons Key Sanity and Randomizer, that's Week 6 and 7, when most of these teams are trying to settle off their playoff spots.
Yeah, and given the level of competition, it should be some pretty exciting last couple of weeks to make it into the playoff round for sure.
Tyler Roomies, they're going to get Fandrina Drifters in that co-op Randomizer. They're going to get All Dungeons Key Sanity against Team Kappa.
Wow.
That's a
GFE
bang up 6
here,
and 7.
Making some plays. He's going for Checkerboard Cave first here, but going to the Mire area, is Dude Man going to dip in to Mire without the cane? Yikes.
I think he goes into desert first. No, he doesn't. He flutes away.
Hey.
He proves me wrong.
Hey, I don't know about that one-off check there. Come on, man.
jmeasher trying to hammer off this Mothula. He gets a tackle down. All right, so let me ask you.
Yes.
Where do you think the Canis Samaria is?
Canis Samaria. It's probably in Swamp Palace, and Hookshot, I'm going to say, is in Mire. Yeah, it's going to be something stupid like that, but, you know, I mean, that's what I would say.
I make things go triple boom, the pedestal's not required. I'm thinking mischievous right now, Sabatender.
Yeah, man. What you got?
Ice Rod, Canis Samaria, and Hookshot, all in Ice Palace.
Wow. Can you imagine? That's crazy. I mean, we've got, you know, the access to Ice Palace. It really is just kind of calling, but that's pretty gnarly.
It's probably a little disgusting too while we're at it, but we know Sahasrabat is no friend of any of ours, even the creator Sinak, who has often complained about some of the seeds that he gets out of the spot. All right, maximum health increased. No.
Huh, so a worthless book.
Should burn that book, but nah, I won't go there.
All right, so we've seen one item out of Tower of Hera here. jmeasher unfortunately missed a bomb jump and decided to bail on looking for the second item. If GFE goes all the way through with this, we might learn a little bit more. We'll see.
Thinking about it, And he's bailing.
Whoa, that was a long second there.
Do, 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 do. Okay, well, that's the answer is no. So our continuing of seeing things that either runner or both runners have already seen or one runner has already seen continues as jmeasher will discover the flute at Bumper Cave.
Yeah,
this route will come to...
both of our runners are getting close to kind of maxing out the checks that we have seen. We got to see something new soon. I'm looking forward. I think it should be jmeasher who might give us our first look at something new. Maybe he dips into desert. Maybe he goes for mire. But I think he's a little bit ahead on the checks right now, so he might be able to give us something new.
Can I say something honest here?
Yeah.
I am surprised that jmeasher has opted not to do Graveyard Ledge.
Flute is pretty tempting, you know.
Like,
you get that.
Flute is a good find, except for the fact that now you're kind of orphaning off Graveyard Ledge unless you go back into that portal right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he's fluting away.
You know, I mean, you get excited, you know, a fresh new item pops up and you're just thinking, okay, my strategy is totally changed. I'm going to abandon a location in favor of some other stuff over here.
So does jmeasher make the play for Desert Palace? Now, he does note that the pedestal is dead. But that doesn't mean that this seed is completely dead as far as what we need. Now, one good thing here for GFE is that he's not going to go and grab that ether.
Nope, doesn't have to waste time on that.
Yeah, once he sees that this is going to be the Quake, and coincidentally he pulls out the Quake, but that's just out of how the mirror transition happened. And we do see jmeasher inside of Desert Palace. Gets a small key off the torch. An hour in. Where's our next progression item? That's not it.
Nope. Alrighty, right side desert, 2 chests. What do we got? Fisher Price shield.
That was uninspiring.
Is he gonna bonk? Is he gonna hover? Is he gonna try? Maybe not.
That's gonna be a no.
Sorry, P-Train. Don't expect any of that from me either.
It's item 2 out of desert. Desert's empty. Oh, GFA going back into the Tower of Hera now.
Yeah, just being extra thorough here, you know, maybe banking on jmeasher leaving a couple of these things aside, you know, so he's gonna maybe get that second item out of Hera, maybe do Spike Cave, things we haven't seen yet.
Unless he takes a fall too, just like jmeasher did.
Yeah.
Because remember, what happened to jmeasher about a half an hour ago, maybe 20 minutes ago actually, is jmeasher made himself up to the 4th floor, got the arrows, and then tried to do the bomb jump, but he failed. And as a result, just said, nope, I'm done. GV trying to position himself. He's not quite there just yet. He is now. Bonks goes over, and that's a map. All right.
So I think item is, it's either on Moldorm or I guess it's in the basement. That's all we have left.
Either Moldorm's got the key or he's got the second item, as it looks like jmeasher is giving us another check that we haven't seen yet. Now, we did see Waterfall, we did see Zora Ledge, but we didn't see Zora.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait a few more seconds to see what that might be.
Nice kill there for GFE. Does he get the key or does he get the second item? He gets the second item. It's 300 rupees. Hera is dead.
Bummer.
500 rupees. What do you think we're going to get from King Zora?
Probably some junk. I'm going to say junk.
I'm going to say a mushroom.
Oh.
No, that's not a mushroom. You're right, it's junk.
Alrighty, Spike Cave. This we have not seen.
Yeah, another new check for us. Judging by the start position here for jmeasher, I'm thinking we're getting a swamp play.
I mean, yeah? Hookless swamp would be interesting.
We got junk inside a Spike Cave. GFE's got the mirror out. No, he's got the bow out. Now what's he going to do? I think we do catfish?
Catfish, yeah.
No, we're going to see jmeasher check the Bombos tablet. That's nothing there. We know that's just going to be 3 bombs. Yes, we are heading for catfish. I wouldn't be surprised if, well, actually, no, he's still got to check. He's got to still check Zora, and I think at this point you go to Zora.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he, GFE here, is going to mirror into Light World, do Zora, and then portal over to Ice Palace. That wouldn't be bad.
I think you save and quit.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could, it might be faster.
Yeah, it takes you less time to save and quit, and then mirror. Or not mirror, then flu. All right, catfish, what do we got for us? J-U-N-K. Swamp Palace without the hookshot.
Yeah, so we're down to some kind of awful choices. Dungeons you can't complete, or pendant dungeon that you don't even want to do.
With the big key in the first chest. Or rather, the second chest, but we all call it the first chest at this point. It's not key sanity. How does your teammate know bomb diver down if he has to go to swamp?
Oh, I think he's got it down.
He's making another play.
I think I'm the weak link on that front.
So am I. I can do it with the Cane of Samaria. I've done it with the bombs before, but I need more practice at it. All right, desert play for GFE. We know that's going to be empty. Somebody's going to have to come up with a big brain play at this point. Week number 2 of the league. And jmeasher finding, oh gosh, the compass. What do we got in the big chest? The Cane of Samaria!
Hey, did I say that? I thought it was gonna be behind the hook shot, but I mean that means that hook shot is probably in TR or something now.
With the ice rod in the back of swamp here. My buddy Savage Center has got no comment on that, apparently.
Nope. No comment at all.
All right, GFE, time to abandon this play, and where are you going to head to next? Oh, we're making the Misery Mire play.
There comes a point where quick swap ceases to become useful, and you sometimes have to just pop into the menu there.
Yeah, there's a point where you say fudge it when you're trying to go through the items, and you're like, where in the hay is that Quake? Best case scenario for GFE is that he finds the hook shot here.
Yep, we're pretty good.
One final check for jmeasher, then he's out of here. And it's bottle number 4.
Alrighty, so he's gonna probably take that right to Mire, and because he's able to finish the dungeon off.
Yeah. It is a big key. Still 2 items from go mode, Heist Rod and the hook shot. And of course we find nothing but the 2 smalls and the big key so far.
Yep.
As we find, oh man.
Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful trick right there.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that one. That's
Yeah, that's
Nice
the
little piece.
barrier skip at that point. Ice Rod!
Whoa.
That is totally legal. It was voted legal by the Racing Council. Well, we still have yet to find what the hook shot is, but this is going to push GFE to check what the shovel is, and then hopefully find out what is inside a Swamp Palace. But this now tells us that the Pyramid Fairy's dead.
Yes.
Hook shot!
Oh!
Whoa!
Wow.
And here's the thing. jmeasher may chase that into Turtle Rock.
Oh, yeah, like, absolutely.
We are in no mode now, friends. Uh-oh. And, that's an unfortunate use of the blue goo there for jmeasher having to use that here in this room. And GFE with that hook shot is racing to Swamp Palace. And this is going to be almost a go mode version of Swamp Palace for GFE. Doesn't even have to check left side swamp.
Nope, with that big key coming in the first chest there that isn't the small key chest, he'll get that look at that big chest, which is Kana Samaria, and he'll know he's just good to go.
Asking where the shovel is, and there it is, you receive it. Wow. And this has been a topsy-turvy seed for both of these runners.
Yeah, so much back and forth. You're not really sure who's ahead and who's behind. jmeasher started off with kind of a nice early lead-ish. Looked like things are going in his favor there, and yeah, tables have turned a little bit here.
Now, it's not completely in GFE's favor, but if jmeasher chases that ice rod and goes up to Turtle Rock before checking in the shovel, that could be huge for your team to get their first win of the season.
Yeah. I don't know how you can avoid the Turtle Rock play at this point. You've got everything that you need. You're only looking for one item. It's a loaded dungeon. It would be a great check to go for a shovel spot. It'd be like big props to jmeasher. I just don't know how you can do it.
We're gonna find out in about 45 seconds from now, maybe a little bit longer than that once we get done with the cutscenes and all. But at the 1 hour 13 minutes, and give a few more seconds because he's going to go ahead and check this chest because why not? Make me have to wait. Come on, 28, 29, 30. I want to finish the sentence. 37 seconds. GFE is the first of these runners to be into, what is it, Sabatender?
A go mode.
That's correct. jmeasher facing off against the eyeballs here of Vitreous, trying to get the 8 arrows in. And what if GFE finds the silvers back here, or the tempered sword to help out with this fight? Oh,
wow,
baby!
Rick, what a call.
That is the biggest thing that GFE was going to find.
So this is the kind of the make or break here. If jmeasher can flute to 4 first, then we might just save this one.
Oh, he flutes to 4.
Wow, what a god!
We have a race.
This is fantastic. This is going to be a shootout to the finish here.
Now, this is not done and over with yet. We are going to have ourselves a thrilling finish to see who claims the points here in this match. And there's the hookshot for jmeasher at 1 hour 15:06. He is in go mode. jmeasher just has to make his way to the back and faces off against Argus, and with him being at this position here where he does not have the tempered sword, he does not have the silvers, I would be surprised if he doesn't check these 3 chests on the way.
Yeah, they're quick little checks. You're maybe thinking that while you're doing GT, you might come across, one or the other, a sword or the silvers. But these checks, a couple of these in Swamp backside here are pretty quick and easy.
Well, these runners just have to go to the bosses. We will have a complete idea of who has the lead in this race once they're done and merging back when they flute to 1 to go to Turtle Rock. The big thing for GFE is that he's going to be able to do silver arrow fights here against Vitreous, and Vitreous with the silver arrows is a pretty free fight for these caliber of runners. So glad you're joining us here on Speed Gaming, week number 2 of the league. Season 3, this has been a phenomenal season so far. Stay tuned, we got a whole lot more matches on the way. We got what, like 5 of them tomorrow?
There's always, it's, dawn till dusk, it's just Rando City right now, which is fantastic to see.
Where's Rando City located?
Right in the middle of Hyrule.
Wonder if they have a pizza place that's open at 10:30 at night.
Yo, I'd be so down for some pizza right now.
Oh, sure. I'd be in the mood for some bacon, too, and I wonder why.
I think our runners would also be looking for some bacon right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, jmeasher would be looking for getting this diver down here. There he goes. Gonna check these chests. The big important one is the waterfall chest, and I don't see him skipping it. Nice spooky from GFE. There it is. Silvers for jmeasher. GFE is going to be done with this boss fight first. jmeasher still has to tackle Argus. This could come down to GT.
It most definitely will come down to GT riding. I feel like these guys are pretty evenly matched, so with GFE with a slight lead here, he should be able to retain it through Turtle Rock.
There we go. That is the 6th crystal for GFE. jmeasher pulling up the hook shot, trying to get himself set up to go with these puffs, taking him 2 at a time with the spin moves. But this is going to be a bit longer fight for jmeasher than GFE's fight against Vitreous, so it's going to be probably about a 45 second to a minute advantage here for GFE, as he's up first to the number 1 on the flute. jmeasher having a little bit of issues, a little bit of bad luck here. Finally gets him tackled. Oh, missed with the fire rod shots. Try to get him in the fast. There we go. So yeah, it's just gonna be the Death Mountain Walk difference between these 2 runners.
Every little thing's going to count here. Getting dead rocked is going to slow you down. That's going to be a problem. So it's going to be pretty tight here.
Oh, dead rock for GFE.
No, I cursed him.
You just had to say that. I mean, I tried to play nice for him by giving him the silvers. Here you are, dead rocking him.
I'm so bad. I'm the worst teammate.
Oh, jmeasher falls and has to redo that section again.
Yep.
Both of these runners, they're scrambling and they're hating these unfortunate mishaps. Because you know you have to go fast in this league.
You're looking at that clock and we're hitting 120 and you think, okay, I've got, 12 to 15 minutes left of this run. Is this time good enough? Maybe
Absolutely.
not. Both of our runners kind of, last location, certain things, and, so you're never feeling super confident at this point.
So both of these runners, I'm sure they've done a whole lot of Master Sword fights here. Who do you think might have the advantage when it comes to these Master Sword battles between these 2?
I couldn't tell you. I really do think that these guys are both on pretty equal footing. I would say I might give the edge to GFE just a little bit, but who knows? I think it's pretty close.
Both of these runners inside of the Turtle Rock at the same time. GFE through the key door, 121.03. We'll see when jmeasher finishes off and gets the door in a little bit. Buckle up. This is going to be a crazy finish. Oh, a little bit of slowdown there for GFE. Bothered by the chain chomps as well.
So as our runners make their way through Turtle Rock at the end of this exciting race, just a quick shout out one more time to our tracker, Mindful Beast, doing a great job clicking those buttons, keeping us on track behind the scenes there. 1:22:03. It's a 1 minute even lead for GFE
in this Turtle Rock.
Ay, ay, ay.
Be sure to give both of these runners a follow. They're doing a fantastic run. They're doing a fantastic trip through Hyrule for all of us.
Burning all that magic. Yikes.
And thankfully, we got a small little pot down here so we can do the Cane of Samaria. GFE's going gambling, friends.
You know, he might have to do... You know, I think he's probably safe. I think this is probably okay. Probably.
It's a 1 in 21 chance that he gets lucky here. There's the map. That's a nice one-up mushroom. GFE heading on over, grabbing the magic before he heads over to the laser bridge. And jmeasher is making the same play.
Yeah, I feel like you do, you know, at this point. You want to go mode this, you want to go as fast as possible, so I think I agree with both runners' choice here.
There's one situation that can happen for this not to work out. And it works out for GFE. He gets the key, chest number 1. jmeasher having a little issue here in Crystal Roller Room. Here's the magic fill-up for GFE, getting ready to face off against Trinex. Alright, switching on over to the hammer strats, because that works the same way as the tempered sword does. 5 hits to take down the head. We'll switch on over before the head explodes, because you cannot do any sort of changes here. And jmeasher's checking the other chest here. If he gets the tempered sword, he's in a big position here. But gets a bug catching net, 20 rupees. And half magic, which is a nice find, but it's no tempered sword.
Yeah, nice find. Not going to make up like time or anything unless GFE gets silly with the magic. But he's got some potions, I think, if he kind of messes up that.
And GFE having a really rough second stage of the Trinex fight, but tackles him down. He's got him done. Gets a single arrow for his reward. He's heading to Ganon's Tower. We play a game here on Speed Gaming. What is it called?
Oh, the big key guessing game. Yeah. So throw some numbers in chat there. 1 to 22. We're looking for the big key in the basement of Ganon's Tower. Could be an
holy numbers.
One of those. Look at them.
Look at those numbers fly.
I love it. I love it. What do you think, Rick? Where are we going to find this thing?
7. What do you think?
7. I'm going to go with 11. We're going to do the 7-11.
The League, nor Speed Gaming, is brought to you by 7-Eleven. Although sponsorship opportunities are available, contact Fear Agent and Fiesel for more information. And there's the single arrow pickup, 12609 entry into GT for GFE. Here we go. First check on the torch is a map.
Somehow a fire-resistant map.
43 points going to be reported to the player who has the exact answer or the closest without going over. Number 2, small key. Number 3, small key. Number 4, 20 rupees. Number 5 is a small key, dark magician time, and jmeasher checking these hookshot chests and is coming up empty. Big key in Hope Room. Number 6.
Oh, Rick, you went over.
Well, if he checked the left one first, I would have been right.
Oh, should have told GFE.
I did 10 minutes ago.
I mean, if jmeasher goes Hope Room first, and there's a small key in that left chest in Hope Room, making up some time.
Shout out to Mocha Jones, 10, the big winner, guessing 6 and getting 43 points for the leaderboard. Congratulations. Here's the Hope Room for jmeasher. I would have been stunned if that turned out to be a sword right there. There's the big key for jmeasher. He's just going to have to grab himself a small key before he can go up the tower.
So this will make up the time that he spent doing those couple of checks in Hookshot Cave and whatnot. So, yeah, made up a little bit of ground here.
And there's the key pickup for jmeasher as we get ourselves up here to the 4th floor of the gauntlet for GFE. You know the one gauntlet that's going to be interesting when we get to it? We mentioned it earlier, week 7 during the Randomizer.
Oh, yeah. Right, GFE not doing too badly in the gauntlet here.
Yeah, let's see how his Lambo 2 fight goes. With the silver arrows, should be able to fire 3 silver arrows and be done with it. Lures 1, he misses on 2, and won't have a chance for 3.
Oh.
He's gonna have to watch his arrow count, though.
Goodness.
There he goes. And jmeasher with a half magic is gonna go fire rod strats here.
Yeah, I definitely agree with this. You got magic to burn, might as well use it.
129.09. jmeasher switching on over towards the sword for a little bit here, preserving a little bit of that magic. Taking a little bit of damage through here. Gonna powder the anti-fairy. No, he's not. Oh, he's not gonna get a clean kill here either. Misses 3 silver arrows.
Pressure of the run here, kind of weighing on both players.
GFE now appear and will get 10 arrows to refund himself a little bit. And it is a 1 minute and 1 second lead for GFE. No sword so far.
Yeah, not looking like we're gonna see one. We only got Moldorm's chest here to check out afterwards here.
Absolutely, GFE switching on over towards the hook shot. And 300 rupees. That will not buy you a sword. It's gonna come down to Ganon. How well are you putting in all those spins that you have to put in for the stages 1 and 2?
Yeah, it definitely, yeah. If you can get those first 2 phases taken care of quickly, you'll be in much better shape on that fight. If you start to drag behind, it could get away from you a little bit.
GFE now stage rather wave number 4 of this Aga 2 fight. And there's the 6th and final hit to Aga 2, and he's gonna head on over to Ganon.
2-1-2-1 from GFE. Maybe some room to make it just a 3 cycle if jmeasher can make it work.
131.44 on the duck grab. And GFE drops on in. And with the Master Sword, you have to spin him. Slashes will not work. Nice double right there off the trident.
Yeah, that's the kind of start you want to see on the Ganon fight. You know, setting yourself up for success early on gives you a bit of confidence going into the later stages of the fight.
Would be really nice if you could get him set up in a bottom area where he could get multiple hits on him. But now with the corner, he can get all the hits he wants. He knows where he's at. He's got the 12. Now he's on to stage number 2. And now stage 3, just the 4 spins to get him into stage 4.
This is looking pretty good for GFE at this point.
Yeah, the lead is now up to 1 minute and 12 seconds. Top corner spins or warps away. Oh, misses the opportunity to get him there. Has to deal with more Ganon warps now. That's 2 extra warps. Gets the 3rd one here. Now it's time to deal with Ganon. Stage 4. Waits to light the torch.
Doesn't want to take any chances with that. Make sure he gets the torch glitch there.
Yeah, absolutely. Better to be cautious than to have something happen. Oh, he fails! He falls! He falls!
No! No way! Oh no!
And that now gives jmeasher the lead.
Pour one out for GFE there. jmeasher's taking the lead here.
And now jmeasher into stage 3. GFE back into the Ganon fight. Another nice hit off the trident for a double.
jmeasher's just got to play it cool here in the phase 3 and 4, and it's...
Oh, he misses the opportunity to hit him 2 on stage 3. And one thing jmeasher's going to have to be careful is his health situation, although he gets him into stage 4. And GFE does have a potion remaining.
All right, we're into stage 4 here. We're getting these arrow hits.
Yep.
He's got to play it real cool.
I think he got greedy trying to get him for multiple hits right there. There's the explosion of Ganon, and jmeasher steals this one away for GFE to give Tile Roomies their 2nd win of the season.
GG's in the chat for jmeasher, coming from behind.
Wow. Official race time, that GG time for jmeasher is 1 hour 35 minutes and 16 seconds.
And of course, phase 4 going much smoother for GFE this time. Very close to finishing off Ganon here. I think this might be it.
There's 2 hits right there. Misses the attempt to spin him.
And you've also just seen the, the dot done come in, so you're a little disheartened, I'm sure, at this point in the fight.
Because you know exactly what caused you that race. And there's the finish for GFE. Get your GGs in the chat for both of these runners. We'll get them in here. Go ahead and talk about this in just a moment. And the official race time, that GG time for GFE, is going to be 1 hour 36 minutes and 21 seconds, a difference of 1 minute and 5 seconds. Let's get them both in here, Sabatender. Let's talk about this.
Alrighty, let's pull them on in.
So,
hey there, runners.
Both of you.
GG's.
GG's.
Oh, GFE.
It hurts, man. I'm sorry. I got too greedy. I wanted the triple.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I knew exactly what happened right there. It's trying to finish him off right there, and it's happened to me too before, and I feel for you. I really do.
For you, man. jmeasher, coming from behind there, the last second to steal that one away. It was a back and forth affair. Where did you think you were kind of sitting as you were getting into that Ganon fight there? Did you feel good or? Ruh-roh.
We are seeing you light up, jmeasher, but we are not hearing you. So I guess while we get jmeasher set up for the microphone.
GFE, what did you think of the the hammer and mirror situation? How did you feel about finding those? It seemed like a little bit later than you could have.
I mean, I didn't feel that bad about the hammer. Actually, the reason that I went to Escape instead of Eastern after South Shore was that I thought Eastern was a pendant, and then I glanced at my tracker and saw it was a crystal while I was in Escape. And when I got the cape, I was like, well, we're just going to go ahead and do Aga and
That explains it.
Check pod, hope for a mirror. And so when I got Mitts and pod, I felt like I had to follow that. But then after the flute on Bumper Ledge, I was like, let's go activate and go to Eastern because we don't want to leave something there.
I'm going to be honest, I was worried about you after you had done Skull Woods. Because by that point in time, we knew that jmeasher was going through Thieves Town because he had already gotten the hammer and pulled off the Quake to find out later on that Quake was required for both dungeons. So we were very worried that you were going to go into Thieves Town without the hammer, which would have been catastrophic for your team.
Yeah, I don't think I would have gone to the back anyway without hammer. But finding the flute was definitely a bonus there because it gave me just a quick reason to head back to Eastern. And the only thing that felt awful was when I finally got to Hot Cave and it was Mirror because I said to myself, he got this, he went to Eastern and Pod, comboed it, and I've already lost a lot of time.
And that's exactly what he did.
Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, we
buddy.
Can. Okay. A new microphone, it wasn't working for some reason, but yeah, just really quickly to answer the question you asked me before. I felt pretty good. I feel like there were a lot of traps this seed, and I managed to dodge a lot of them. So, you know.
You both stayed out of the big trap, which turned out to be Ice Palace.
Yeah, and I mean, that was on my mind for a while, but I kind of felt like I kind of reached a point where there were just bad options. It was either Mire, Hookless Swamp, or Ice Palace, and I just kind of felt like Swamp would be the play.
It's interesting that we both double dipped different dungeons.
I do want to pick your mind for just a moment here, jmeasher. You had just finished off Misery Mire. You got the shovel and the ice rod. What had you checking dig spot?
It was just a quick check, and I didn't have much else. I think I had like Pyramid Fairy, Graveyard Ledge, and some stuff I skipped on the mountain. So I was like, shovel's pretty quick. I literally just got it. If I don't check now, I'm never getting back over there.
And it helped save you at that point in time because we thought if you went into Turtle Rock, because JFE had already picked out the hookshot out of there and was about ready to get the cane for go mode. So we figured if you had gone straight to Turtle Rock, it would have been GG at that point in time.
Oh, yeah, that would have been really bad.
Yeah, man, you could have done that and given me time for 2 more falls.
Yeah, just about.
Well, he tried to give you a little bit extra time by checking Hookshot Cave.
Yeah,
there was no sword there.
No, I didn't feel good about that decision while I was doing it, and then didn't end up paying off. But it was right there. It's like, man, and again, I was already feeling pretty good. So it's like I can maybe spare a little bit of time here to try and get an extra sword. Fortunately, it lost me a little bit more time, and Big Key was so early in GT. Just no reason to go any further in there to check, and who knows where those last two swords end up being.
jmeasher did relieve me in one thing, because after the fall, of course, I was already pretty down. So I asked him one thing. I said, "Please tell me there was no sword in the other Hope Room chest."
Oh.
Yeah, we were worried about that one too.
Because as soon as I mirrored, I was like, "Oh, please don't let there be a sword."
Oh. That would have been really unfortunate.
But we had never seen another sword besides the two that you had found during the course of this seed.
Yeah, so probably one in GT basement, and then probably one in maybe Ice Palace or something. So places you guys definitely weren't going to get to.
Yeah, I mean, possibly even two in GT. It's you never.
Yeah.
But no, this seed was really interesting. Getting that early moon pearl and dark cross for lamp. Knowing that Aga was required with Fire Rod on Lumberjack, and getting that early Dark World access, there were a lot of options for me. The early game played out pretty well in my favor, but I'm sure I lost a lot of time mid-seed doing a lot of extra checks I probably should have been skipping.
It was before the mire / swamp play, I think, is where it was felt like you had given a little bit of time back to GFE, because GFE gave you a little bit of time when he didn't get into Hype Cave and you had to get that mirror.
Yeah, that mirror was really, really nice. I was basically like, I want to check Hype Cave first. If I get lucky and get mirror, I can go do the pod Eastern double, and it worked out perfectly. I probably was gonna skip going to pod if I didn't get that. Would have gone South Dark World, done some stuff over there. But yeah, it worked out really nicely. But it's just, it's one of those things. No matter how good your early game is, if those items elude you mid game and you're checking too much stuff, you're going to lose that time back. So
there's one last thing I want to ask about this seed, and then we've got to move on to talk about various other things that are going on with your teams coming up this week and beyond. But first of all, I'm going to first go to jmeasher. At what point were you expecting the finish statement from GFE while you're doing the GT or in the Ganon fight?
I think you're always just waiting for it. Like you're sure it's going to come in right before you finish. My thoughts were like, if he finishes before me, then kudos. He navigated this seed really, really well and played really well. And if I had lost, I wouldn't have been too upset, because I felt like I played pretty well overall. But yeah, I think you're always, every time you're going up GT, you're just waiting for that that finish to come in. You just kind of got to put it out of your mind and just buckle down and get it done.
Right on.
So any closing words about this seed in particular? I'll start with GFE first.
Well, first of all, kind of say the same thing as him as far as the waiting for the dot done. I felt really good. I mean, I knew things went poorly with the early game, but I felt good about the rest of the seed. And aside from that fall, I was thinking, even if I lose this, at least I played well. The only other thing about the seed that really was obnoxious, getting the mirror when I did, was it made the Smith chain just really, really stupid.
Yeah, you were halfway through it there.
Yeah, and then powder was on purple chest, I believe, so that made it even more dumb. So I don't know. But just GG's jmeasher. He deserves the win after that ending with Ganon. It happens.
Yeah, man, GG's, like super close race. He played really well, and yeah, that kind of stuff just happens, and it sucks to lose a race that way. So I feel for you.
So let me turn to GFE here. So any words that you want to say to a particular person that is beside me and here in the commentary booth as he gets ready to face off against Tazukitty later this week?
Hey, Sabo.
Hey.
Don't fall to Ganon.
Oh, good advice, bro. Thanks, man.
Get some points on the board, man.
I will do my very best.
And then I'm going to turn to jmeasher and ask anything that you want to say to Hazukitty if she's listening along here to this broadcast.
Just say, have fun. I know she's really been looking forward to this race. She had you circled on the calendar, Sabo.
Yeah, man.
So I know she's really looking forward to it. Just have some fun, do your best, and whatever happens. We move forward.
Right on.
And I think I got one more question here before we wrap my questions up, and then I'll go to Sabatender if he's got anything. Any weeks up ahead, I'll start with GFE, any weeks ahead that you're looking forward to, either for the matchup or for the mode?
Simple answer there for me, and that's week 7. I love Randomizer, so co-op Randomizer, I'm going to enjoy that. Although I did learn one thing in a practice recently. I thought it was all dungeons. And so when I was practicing with P-Train, I went into Pendant Ice over Crystal Swamp Palace and found Go Mode in there. So then he told me it wasn't all dungeons, and I felt like a genius. So my strategy's already ruined. Just.
And what about you, jmeasher?
I'm kind of looking through the schedule right now, and honestly, these first 2 weeks were kind of my more the modes I'm more well seasoned in, but I think like the All Dungeons Key Sandy week 6 against Team Kappa is going to be a really interesting set of races for us, I'm sure, and those guys are real good. So probably that week I would have to say, but
right on.
The co-op info share week 7 will also be a lot of fun.
And with that, I'm going to turn to Sabatender if he's got anything else he's going to add or inquire. But GG's to both of you.
Yeah, GG's, guys. Great race. Really entertaining for us to watch. It was back and forth. We didn't know who was going to take it, so that was really awesome. Great effort from both you guys. I don't have any more questions, so I will just shout out to our tracker one last time, Mindful Beast. Click on those buttons behind the scenes. Really appreciate that, dude. And yeah, thanks to Rick for joining me on the co-coms here. Had a blast with you, and I'll give you the final word.
Oh, I absolutely enjoy it with you. So the next time we have the Invitational League here on Speed Gaming, we have 2 races coming up tomorrow, 6:10. Shireen, who I know you're very familiar with, versus Goomba.
My other boy.
And your other boy, the co-op boy from that tournament, Zelga versus Tito is also going to be on at 6:10 as well. As those 2 matches will be on Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 respectively. 8:10 Eastern, it's myself versus Farami here on Speed Gaming, and then at 8:10 F. Coughlin versus Keong. That should be a real interesting match as well. Plus we also have one more match between Sir Link-A-Lot and Big Dunka. That should be a lot of fun. Plus Mario Kart 64, Super Mario Galaxy, the SG Live stuff with the Final Fantasy Randomizer qualifiers, and a whole lot more. Be sure to look at the schedule to see what we got coming up here on the Speed Gaming Network. So once again, one more shout out to Mindful Beast for the tracking, and for Sabatender for saying the lovely words alongside me. For our runners, GFE and jmeasher, I'm Adirondack Rick saying thank you for joining us here for another day of the Invitational League Season number 3. We'll see you next time.